Good morning.
Morning.
I hereby call to order this ninth meeting of the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission for the year 2016. And since this is our last meeting before Memorial Day, I would take the time to invite, or we would take the time to invite all of you to stay for a short observance at the conclusion of today's meeting. At this time, I would like to invite Robert Bingaman, a U.S. Navy veteran, to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Robert, and we thank you for your service to this country. At this time, I would call on Commissioner Coleman, who is the editor of the minutes for April 21st, 2016.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I've reviewed the minutes of our April 21st, 2016 public meeting, and I move that they be approved as submitted.
We have a motion to approve the minutes. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Commissioner Powelson. Any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0. Next, we will call up our Director of the Office of Special Assistance, Cheryl Walker Davis, to lead us through today's agenda.
Good morning.
Morning.
And the 6 months ended 12/31/13, as well as the recommendation to release the audit report in the proceeding involving UGI Utilities, Inc. Electric Division's default generation supply service for the 3 12-month periods ended May 31st of 2013, 2014, and 2015.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Powelson, second by Vice Chairman Place. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Turning now to matters presented on behalf of the Office of Competitive Market Oversight, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the first recommendation involving the investigation of PA's retail electricity market and the recommendation to provide electric distribution companies with a 3-year waiver of the Commission's regulations pertaining to the mailing of confirmation letters in instances of instant connects.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Second, is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Vice Chairman Place. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0.
It is recommended that the Commission adopt the staff recommendation in the matter involving the UGI Utilities, Inc. Electric Division and the recommendation that approves with modifications the plan of UGI for implementing seamless moves and instant connects in its service territory.
Is there a motion to adopt staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Powelson, second by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0.
Turning now to matters presented on behalf of the Office of Special Assistance, in omnibus fashion, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the recommendations commencing with that in the proceeding involving the complaint of Ronald Cab, Inc. and others versus OJET, Inc., continuing through the Larry Moyer complaint proceeding against PPL at the bottom of page 3, all items on pages 4 and 5, through and including the recommendation in the proceeding involving the joint petition requesting approval of a resale interconnection agreement of United Telephone Company of PA, LLC, DBA CenturyLink, and DishNet Wireline, LLC.
Is there a motion to adopt staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Vice Chairman Place, second by Commissioner Powelson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0.
Turning now to matters on behalf of the Commission's Bureau of Technical Utility Services. Again, in omnibus fashion, it is recommended that the Commission adopt those recommendations, commencing with that appearing at the top of page 6 in the matter involving the electric generation supplier license cancellations. The remaining items on page 6, all items on pages 7, 8, and 9 through and including the recommendation involving the release of quarterly earnings report.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So
So
moved.
moved. Sorry. Second.
Second.
I heard Commissioner Coleman first, so he will move. And then I heard Commissioner Powelson, so we will have him as the second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0.
Turning now to the matter presented on behalf of the Law Bureau, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the staff recommendation with regard to updating the bylaws of the statewide Sustainable Energy Board.
Is there a motion to adopt staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Vice Chairman Place. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0.
Turning now to matters on behalf of the Office of Administrative Law Judge, it is recommended that the Commission adopt ALJ Salapa's recommended decision approving the settlement in the proceeding involving the Metropolitan Edison Company, Pennsylvania Electric Company, Pennsylvania Power Company, and West Penn Power Company's joint petition for approval of their default service programs for the period beginning 6/1/17 through 5/31/2019, noting your statement, Madam Chairman.
Is there a motion to adopt staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Vice Chairman Place, second by Commissioner Powelson. Under discussion, I do have a statement that I'd like to submit for the record, but also read part of it for your hearing. Before the Commission is First Energy's joint settlement of their default service program. Consistent with my position on previous default service filings, I wish to elaborate why I believe this settlement does establish a default service plan that satisfies the procurement requirements under Act 129. The settlement includes spot market products in the residential and industrial portfolios, short-term contracts to the residential and commercial portfolio, and the long-term contracts in the residential, commercial, and industrial portfolios. In the instant proceeding, each of the long-term contracts included in this program are grandfathered alternative energy credit contracts. These grandfathered contracts will eventually expire. In my opinion, it will be incumbent upon the EDCs and this commission to carefully consider long-term contracts of 4 to 20-year terms consistent with Section 2807E of the Code in future default service plans unless the legislature decides otherwise. As such, I will vote to approve the First Energy Company's default service program. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0.
It is recommended that the Commission adopt ALJ Salapa's recommended decision approving the settlement in the proceeding involving the Columbia Water Company Supplement Number 76 to Tariff Water PA PUC Number 7.
Is there a motion to adopt staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Commissioner Powelson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Madam Chairman and Commissioners, that does conclude the presentation of regular agenda items. Turning now to the carry-in agenda. On behalf of the Office of Special Assistance, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the recommendation with regard to the PECO Energy Company's Phase 3 Energy Efficiency and Conservation Plan pertaining to the revised plan, as well as the revised Energy Efficiency and Conservation Program charge.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Vice Chairman Place, second by Commissioner Powelson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0.
With regard to the Duquesne Light Company's petition seeking a waiver and suspension of certain periodic and statistical sample meter testing obligations related to legacy meters, there is the joint motion, Madam Chairman, that you have along with Vice Chairman Place.
So I have a motion to call up the matter for consideration.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
And at this time, I will turn it over to Vice Chairman Place.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to recognize Chairman Brown for the purposes of this motion. Chairman Brown?
Thank you. We will submit the motion in its entirety for the record. Before us for consideration is Duquesne Light Company's petition seeking a waiver of certain testing obligations related to legacy meters that are being phased out of service. Duquesne requests the waiver and suspension of Section 57.20E and 57.21F of our regulations while it carries out smart meter deployment through 2019. We wish to first commend Duquesne for attempting to reduce meter testing costs, as these costs are ultimately borne by ratepayers. That being said, we do believe that Duquesne has not met its burden of proving that a waiver of the meter testing requirements is merited at this time. There is not sufficient factual information included in Duquesne's petition to allow us to thoroughly consider how granting a waiver would affect rates. Meter testing costs are embedded in current rates. This fact begs a number of questions. First being how much money would be saved by not carrying out statistical sampling of meters, whether Duquesne plans to refund the savings to ratepayers, how would Duquesne refund savings to ratepayers through rates or through the AMI surcharge, and whether the chosen refund method avoids the prohibition against single-issue rate making. Because we are unable to thoroughly consider the potential customer impacts of granting the waiver, as it is currently crafted, we are unable to approve the petition. Nevertheless, should Duquesne wish to file a revised petition for a waiver, we would appreciate answers to the questions contained herein and the additional questions attached to this motion. Therefore, we move that the petition for waiver filed by Duquesne Light Company is denied, and the Law Bureau prepare an opinion and order consistent with this motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Madam Chair, I will be concurring in result only. Thank you.
So we have 4.
4-0.
All right, sorry. The motion carries 4-0. Thank you.
Correct.
That does conclude the presentation of public meeting agenda items.
Thank you very much. Before we conclude our public meeting, I want to remind everyone to please stay for our short Memorial Day observance. We will need a couple of minutes to rearrange the room in the beginning, in the front, and so we will begin momentarily. Meeting is adjourned.